Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of Sips and Success, where we talk about all things growth, evolving, and our versions of success. Today's guest is someone who truly embodies the word beauty. Oh my gosh, full of creativity and positivity. Today, joining me on the couch is Keisha Chavis.
Hey, y'all.
The talent and heart behind Legendary Beatz by K.Nicole. Keisha is a professional makeup artist known not just for her flawless work, but for the energy she brings into every room she steps in. She's multi-talented, creative, and intentional about staying positive, even when life throws curveballs. And while being on camera isn't her profession, she has her natural presence that reflects confidence, as you can see, authenticity, and ease. Keisha's work goes beyond beauty. She uses her gift to uplift, encourage, and help women feel like the best version of themselves through her profession. I'm excited to sit down and talk with her about growth, mindset, and what success looks like when you choose optimism and purpose every step of the way. So welcome to the show, y'all.
Yes.
Keisha Chavis.
Thank you.
Yes, Keisha, we're so glad you're here.
Yes.
You look amazing.
Well, thank you.
And I do too.
Yes.
Guess who'll be my face? Okay, I'm gonna keep it cute. But listen, so Keisha, we love to start off with a good icebreaker.
Okay.
I'm a lover of all things music. If you had to choose an artist or a song or anything right now that kind of just gives your vibe, your energy, the place where you are in your life, what would it be or what artist? What era are you in right now?
Era. Okay. I would say Mariah the Scientist.
Oh, that's a new one. What you like about Mariah, Keisha?
Well, I'm not really in the heartbreak stage, but I really just like her music. I like her vibe. That's just where I am right
That's where you are right now.
Yeah.
If I had to choose, I'm on my DJ Chose wave. I love DJ Chose, and he has a song now that's I Know My Worth.
Mm-hmm.
So when y'all play it when you get a chance, you might like it too.
Okay.
But great. I'm glad to hear that. So now we can move on to the actual interview. Yeah. Let's talk, Keisha. Look, matter of fact, let's take a little sip of our
Yes, because I love me some tea.
Yes, ma'am. It might be popping hot still. Yeah, I wish I could get a good picture of these herbs in this tea.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am. I should have
added good
sugar, but that is good.
Mm-hmm.
So, Keisha, let's talk a little background for a moment.
Okay.
I want to know the story behind the brand.
The story behind the brand.
If you can tell us a little bit. So, for you, how did the brand come about? Were you playing in your makeup one day and decided, I really want to do this? Or were you in a different lane and this kind of came about?
Okay, so when I was a kid,
my
aunt and my mom were definitely makeup wearers.
Yeah.
So my aunt used to sell Alouette. It was on the same pretty much line as like Mary Kay.
Gotcha.
So they would have pamper parties.
Oh.
And so I was her little sidekick, and so she would take me with her to the I would call them like pamper me parties, where she would cleanse the skin and do all that.
Okay, not the other pamper.
Yeah, not the other pamper, but cleanse the skin. It was more so focused on skincare. So I would go with her to those parties and help her set up. And then when I went off to college, I already loved makeup.
Yeah.
So I went off to college. I had a bunch of free time on my hands. So I ended up just start playing around.
Yeah.
And then I met a lady there who actually did hair. She did hair, but she also did makeup.
Yeah.
So I would spend a lot of time at her shop, and she really introduced me to the game. Shout out to Miss Regina.
Hey, Miss Regina.
Located in Greenwood, South Carolina.
Shout her out.
Yes, I spent lots of time with her.
Yeah.
So when I spent time with her, I would go back to my dorm and I would do makeup on my suite mates and my friends. And y'all, I was like absolutely trash.
That was gonna be my next question.
I was absolutely trash, but they really trusted me. To do their makeup. So after I was there, I decided, you know what, I don't want to go back to school here anymore. I was like, I want to transition back home.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to get a job at MAC.
Yeah.
And become a makeup artist.
Yeah.
And so, the plan didn't go, exactly how I wanted it. But years later, I did become a MAC freelancer.
Yeah.
And I was able to do that. And then I became a permanent artist. And then I ended up having my own brand. I had an in-house studio at my parents' house.
Okay, talk about it.
They let me turn part of their dining room into my makeup studio.
Yes.
So I had clients come there. So sometimes you have to crawl before you walk.
Ooh, catch the gym.
Yeah, you have to crawl before you walk.
Yeah.
And then after that, in I want to say 2018, we ended up getting the keys to open a Beatz to Beauty makeup studio.
Beatz to Beauty.
Yes, located in Blythewood, South Carolina. And then we opened up 2019.
Love it.
Yes. And so
I love it. And now thank you so much for sharing a part of the journey, because that's what the show is about, right? I think a lot of times people see who you are now, like you have your studio, you know, you got the keys and you're doing makeup flawlessly.
well, thank you.
But they forget that you got to start somewhere, right? And you said crawl before you walk, because I remember when I first started event design, baby, when I look back at them pictures, I be like, this, baby, this was
exactly like why.
And I'm not a makeup artist, so when I first started to dibble and dabble in makeup, when I see those pictures, I be like, whoa, baby, the eyebrows were super thick. Why did you put that lip color on? That foundation was not even your match. But I love that you shared that, because there's somebody on the other side of this right now who's probably admiring you and your journey, and then you sharing those portions that it didn't start in the studio. I started at my parents' home, you know, and I think that's a beautiful thing. I also want to ask you, in the moments how many years do you think it took you to get it down pack where you felt like, okay, I'm charging now, like I'm charging y'all full price, y'all gonna pay? How long do you think it took you to get to a point where you were comfortable in your craft?
So honestly speaking, sometimes I still have those moments of like, okay, well, you know what? Maybe I could, do a little bit better. But I think that's anybody, no matter what you do.
Absolutely.
You're always trying to perfect your craft. So I would say it probably took me, for me to really feel comfortable, I would say maybe 3 years.
Okay.
3 or 4 years to like really feel comfortable and started really charging. But it took a lot to, actually build the brand, because I remember when I first got started, I was like, oh my goodness, like, it's not exactly what you think it's going to be.
No, and it's not overnight.
It's not overnight.
And I think with everything in life, it's a process.
It is.
That's why it's so important that we discuss these things, because as people, we get discouraged. Very easily, very early on, if we don't see immediate results, if we don't, feel like we're tapped in, I'm not good yet. But it takes time. And I feel like it was Rick Ross or somebody. It was a meme I saw like years ago, and he was saying like, you need a full 10 years going hard behind your brand or your product or your services to fully feel like you're in a good space to start. And that's not everybody, you know what I'm saying? But I just wanted to tap on that because I think it's important. Also, with that being said, do you feel like once you got to a point where you're comfortable in your craft, you're beating faces effortlessly, do you feel like in your field there's competitiveness?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I just think being in the market here is competitive.
Yeah, regardless.
I mean, no matter what you do, I feel like it is competitive. So to me, sometimes I have to log off social media.
Yeah.
Because sometimes being on social media make you feel like you're not doing enough or you're not doing good enough.
Comparison.
So sometimes you just have to just get off the internet.
Yeah.
And just take a break.
Yeah. Unplug. I love to say unplug. Yeah. And some people call it like hiatus or whatever. And I'm not I don't use the word fasting, but there are some times like if I'm locked into a project or I'm locked into something I don't need to go searching to see what anybody else is doing or how they're, how they compare to me, because I'm learning that my lane is my lane. And even if there's 10,000 other people in my lane, what I produce is going to be different than what anybody else produces, because that separates skill from gift,
right?
And how you service people and things like that. And I know when I first started in event design, I thought everybody was my friend. Girl, I ain't gonna be mad to y'all, but I thought everybody was my friend.
Right.
And a lot of people just really want to know what I was doing, how I was doing it. Where are you getting this from? What did you buy? Why did you buy that? And then I also allow a lot of people to project onto my company like, oh, you're not ready for that yet. Or, oh, I don't use those flowers, or baby's breath. Like it's a lot of different things. And I feel like once you get comfortable in your craft and you hone into the fact that you are set apart, you're going to be different regardless if there's 100,000 other people doing it or not.
Exactly.
That develops the comfort.
Right.
Today we want to highlight a beautiful example of wellness with this Berry Skin Glow tea, hibiscus and rose tone, by a Black-owned business here in Columbia, South Carolina, Dimensional Stargaze by Miss Selena Sade. We thank you so much for sponsoring our tea, and thank you guys for tuning in. So, Keisha, I also want to talk about your growth and being multi-talented because I feel like you are so talented beyond what you use right now.
Okay.
So, with you being a multi-talented creative, how do you navigate having more than one gift without feeling like you're overwhelmed or boxed in? And me and Tay were actually talking about this on the ride here because Keisha does amazing photos, guys. And I know some other stuff that she does that I probably don't know about, but Keisha took my maternity pictures. I'm going to post one of them on the screen. And of course, you know, Shantae Bellamy, Noel B. Styles was a huge part of that as well. But
absolutely,
this lady got a whole studio in her house. Don't nobody probably really know this lady got a photo studio in her house, okay? But how do you navigate your creativeness? Because I do feel like as creatives, there's so many things that we can actually do that we're talented in, and it's kind of like you don't want to feel like you're all over the place. So how do you navigate having more than one skill set or talent and just focusing on being the divine makeup artist that you are?
So, well, you know, I like photography, but I mean, I don't know. Like, I like it, but I haven't really thought about like really pursuing it. But I do like doing it for others, like on my free time, just as another outlet, because makeup did start as a hobby, but it is, you know,
absolutely,
it's a job now, but it is still my hobby because I still enjoy and love doing
I love that you said that.
But yeah, so being able to take pictures is more of like a hobby for me. So I just do it whenever I feel like it. Sometimes it could be months before I can pick the camera back up.
Yeah.
Or it could be weeks. It just all depends on, you know, how I'm feeling at the moment. If I want to do something different.
Yeah.
I did pick up a new hobby that I actually really love. I started doing it back in the day, like when I was in middle school. I've been crocheting.
Ooh.
So crocheting has been very relaxing for me.
Yeah.
I've been making I made a couple items.
Yeah.
Made some hats, some ruffle hats. So I enjoy doing that.
I love that.
So that kind of gives me a little break. So I'm able to do that like when I'm winding down.
Yeah. Decompressing.
Absolutely decompressing. Let my mind just
therapeutic.
Go free.
Yeah.
So just pretty much I'll say balancing. So
and balance is hard, especially because I don't know for anybody else, but like as a creative, I feel like I got ADHD all the time.
Yeah, sometimes.
Be like, why is my brain going all the way over here when this is what I was hired to do? So I need to stick to this.
Yeah.
But I do love how when you said, you know, it's more of a hobby, but you pick it up when you need to. But it also helps you develop your brand and doing some of the behind the scenes work, kind of like cutting out the extra expense, not on purpose, because now I'm not saying y'all go buy cameras and think y'all could take pictures.
Right.
That's not what I'm saying. Babe, stay in your lane. But it's something that you're really great at that can help you also build your brand, because that shoot that we did for the maternity, you were able to use that for makeup branding and for photos. Your whole background setup, everything. Yeah, so that was a great moment. I just wanted to discuss that a little bit because I know sometimes, you know, we're moving about our life. Some people feel like they don't know where to focus. And I guess if I had any bit of advice, it would be focus on the thing that brings you the most joy. Because when I'm doing flowers, like now when I do it, it's like effortlessly, right? And people are like, oh, how you do it? I'm like, oh, it's easy, but no, it's not, you know, for everybody, because that's not everybody's thing. But when I'm doing it, I feel amazing. Like despite the event stress, like when there's an actual wedding or something, when I'm doing my flowers, it's like my happy place. And like just looking at a room full of roses or whatever, it's my happy place. So if you're struggling on that, I would say like focus on the thing that brings you the most joy, because that is your gift. That is your passion.
Right.
Yeah. So I just want to ask that.
I do want to add on to that. Sometimes too, when you have multiple talents, you just sometimes have to focus on one thing at a time.
100%.
Because I absolutely do feel like I can have a little ADHD myself. But sometimes I'm like, a friend of mine had to bring it to my attention that, you know, just focus on one thing at a time. So that's when I started going back and writing things down, because sometimes I'll try to do like million things at one time.
Right.
But just if you just focusing on one thing at a time, that'll add and equal up to the other things that you're trying
yes. We just talked about that.
It'll work out.
Yes, I love it. Thank you, Keisha.
Yeah.
Pick up the gems, y'all. And I want to talk about positivity as well, because I feel like you embody that and you may not know it, but like even when you're sending the quotes or you're posting to your story, the elements, the nice quotes or the things that the memes that keep you going.
Right.
When life is not going quite as planned, when things are not as great, because I think people forget the human part of being a brand owner, entrepreneur, ambassador, whatever. Life still happens behind the scenes, despite what they see on social media and the pretty pictures, you know, this large wedding where you did all these bridesmaids, you know, when life isn't quite going as planned, how do you keep yourself motivated and inspired during those times the most?
I would say one, get out of my head.
Ooh. Ooh.
And when I find myself thinking so much, I'll be like, all right, get out of your head. You're doing good.
Yes.
You may not be where you want to be, but you know, you're trying to get better.
Yes.
And you're trying to get where you want to be.
Yeah.
So one, getting out of my head and always try to remain positive. So when I send quotes and affirmations to my friends, when I send them to you, or, you know, my girlfriends or family members, like I'm speaking to myself as well.
Yes. I love that.
And even when you post your affirmations and your positivity on your Facebook and stuff, like that motivates me as well. So just having positive people around you.
Yes.
And even when you're not feeling the best, you know, that's when your faith kicks in.
Yes.
And you gotta know that, you know, that God is gonna bring
you. Hold up. What does Cup say? It's an add to oh, kind of. I'm sorry, I thought you said something else, but that's cool. Cheers to Jesus. Okay, no, because seriously, let me take a sip first. The thing about it is, I think that when we're walking and we're going and we're grinding and we're hustling and it's great, right? I used to label myself the hustler. You know, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna figure out a way, even when I'm, you know, I don't have a way. I'm gonna find a way, and that's great and all. But we forget that we gotta have faith,
right? And
we forget that we have to solely rely on, you know, Jesus. People love to say higher power. Jesus, God, the Holy Spirit. You know, and I find, and I recently went through like
about to start preaching.
Really, I'm sorry. I'm trying not to be too churchy because I'm not the churchy girl. I'm just when I feel it, you know. Yeah. But I say that because like I went through something unexpectedly recently in my family that I didn't think we would ever see or face, and it happened so quick. And I'm working on this major project right now, and like in between going to the hospital for nearly 11 days straight, and going back and forth, and it was the information and the way that it came was very traumatic. It was a lot to take in, and not just for myself, but you're thinking about the person that you love. You know, regular little life is still happening. I'm still momming behind the scenes. Right. I'm still picking up back and forth from basketball practices, going to work in the midst of that, and being a wife, cooking and cleaning and all of this stuff. And you still got to be the entrepreneur, the business owner, because once people sign their contracts and they give you money, you got to do your job. Yeah. So I think, you know, for me, that was the most trying time that I had. And I had to remember, like, you're still human. Allow yourself a moment to kind of soak this in, because this is a lot. Yes. And it's not just a lot for you, it's a lot for everyone who's involved. But the best thing that you can do is keep going, you know, because if you give up on this part, you're not setting a good example for, you know, the people around you. And, is really what you said is really important about having positive forces, because there are some people who don't have anyone who's pouring into them. Right. There are some people who don't have people with positive mindsets around them. So when they get into that place where they feel like they can't come out of, they kind of get stuck because you don't have any other source, you know, that needs to remind you that Jesus is real. He shows up on time every time. Absolutely. He's always going to be there, you know, and he won't put more on you than you can bear. You know, yes. I ain't trying to do too much, but real, we need that. So that's important. I'm glad you said that.
I will say, you know, having like, well, I have older parents.
Yeah.
So having my mom. She's a big prayer warrior. And I know she always saying, I'm praying for you. Even though I'm not where I want to be right now.
Right.
She was like, your time coming.
Yes.
She was like, your time coming. Don't worry about nothing else.
Yeah.
And she always tells me, if God blocks one thing, then he got something
protection else. Yes, God.
So I just, try to look at it like that.
Yeah.
She's very positive. So like having positive people. Also, I was reading this book called Project 369.
Okay.
It goes into the affirmations. So the mind is very powerful.
Yes.
So once something takes over your mind,
yes, God,
then it's over with.
Yes,
really.
That's true.
So trying to change my way of thinking. So thinking positive so I can be positive.
Yes.
And that's what's really like.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because once I changed my mind upstairs, it was like, what you got next? Right. What you got next, life? What you want to do? You want to square up or what? Because once you put it here, and once the enemy, the adversary has your mind, he can take you down a rabbit hole to a whole bunch of different places that you don't want to be. So
I want to be.
I agree with that. Thanks, Keisha, for sharing that. So, also,
okay.
What about your journey is it that people don't see? If we had to just name a few things that, requires you to be who you are, but people don't really even notice or take heed to because that may be a challenge that you have to, overcome daily, weekly, or whatever. What's one of the struggles that you face that you feel like you have to constantly work on it to be the best version of yourself?
Well, I'll probably go back to like getting out of my head.
Yeah.
Also getting out of that, like being comfortable.
Yeah.
I feel like I kind of got a little too comfortable.
Yes.
Just in life in general.
Yes.
So just getting out of that comfortable state, like doing this podcast, like this wouldn't be something I would normally do.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I'm like, okay, I might stumble over my words, but that's okay. Like that's
I still do it.
Yeah. So I would say just getting outside of my comfort zone.
Yes.
It's probably like my biggest thing sometimes. That's one of my things that I'm working on this year. I would say is just getting outside of my comfort zone, like being okay to do things by yourself. Like today, I was telling y'all earlier, like, I hadn't did anything. So I'm like, you know what? Just go and do it by yourself. If you can't go with nobody, just do it by yourself. Yeah. So just stop being scared. Just
that's a word.
You try to make girl draws on, like the old people say.
Yeah, because sometimes I pull them up. You know. So.
But sometimes you just gotta do it.
Yeah. I love that.
And being an entrepreneur, it's hard. When you're an entrepreneur, you're doing all of the things.
Yeah.
You're doing the marketing, you're doing the bookkeeping.
Yes.
You're doing advertisement, social media. Well, I said marketing, social media, all that goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
You're doing all of the things. So that requires a lot from you.
Yes. Daily.
So two, I would probably say one thing that I kind of struggle with would be having like work-life balance. Because I still do work full-time.
Same.
And I'm doing my business on the weekend. So
Same.
It's never really an off day.
Yeah.
So just having time to like balance, and I'm trying to get, into my health journey. So I've been going to the gym early. So just finding a good routine.
I'm gonna get to that gym too, girl.
Yeah. I know you coming. I'll be there. I'll be
in a few. No, I do. I noticed that because when you said that, I noticed that when I am taking care of myself, I am the best version of myself. And that's why I took out the hustling element of the service that I provide, because it was just like, go, 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 go. And I remember one time, like, working for Wells Fargo, I was working a 5 a.m. shift. And then I would be up till I got home at 2:00. I would be up doing treats and pastries up until like 3 a.m. Where I got to be back to work at 5. I would be at work, working at work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that it's important that we take care of ourselves, but also when you say balance is hard to find, but more so making sure that you do get some kind of rest.
Yes.
Because it is no days off for us all the time. But also when you speak about stepping out of your comfort zone, if I'm being 100% honest, me stepping out of what was comfortable has blessed me tremendously in my
Yes.
life. Abundantly and above what, even when I think that I can't, or something that is harder than what I always do. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you for sharing that, because that's true.
Hey y'all, so I didn't get to shout out our mugs. This was my friend Liz's business. It was Mahia Coffee, and she had these amazing mugs with very motivating phrases on here, but this one says manifest everything I want. So Liz, thank you so much for these amazing mugs. I love them, and they will always be a part of me. Love you lots.
Okay, Keisha, so before we wrap up, just want to ask you a few more questions, but if there's one thing that you can say that you're proud of yourself in this season, that you're growing and glowing in, because you look good, girl. You look good, girl.
Thank you so much, girl.
What is one of the, what can you say now that you're proud of yourself? Because I think sometimes we forget to give ourselves credit for all of the things that we're doing and fighting through or accomplishing each and every day. What are you proud of yourself of in this season?
I would say in this season, probably never giving up.
Ooh,
yeah,
girl, you coming with it today? Yes,
but no,
God.
seriously, like just never giving up. Like keep pressing. And also like I'm kind of learning to give myself grace.
Yes,
because
agreed.
My friends, they remind me like you're doing good, even though I'm not where, like I said, where I want to be. But just giving myself grace.
Yes,
and know that it's all in God's timing.
Yes, God.
And that I'm gonna get through whatever life throws at me, because I got this.
Yes, you do.
Myself like I got this,
and you look like you got it.
Thank you.
I love that.
Yeah, I would say giving myself grace, and
I love that, Keisha. If I had to choose for me, it would be putting myself first.
Oh yeah.
Ooh,
yes,
that thing felt so good today.
Yes.
Because we get so wrapped up in the everyday, the roles and the titles that we have to play, whether you're single, married, have children, don't have children, working from home, working at the job. I think we get wrapped up in our titles and our roles and the responsibilities, and we forget to put ourselves first.
Right.
But when I started putting myself first, oh my gosh, it's life-changing. So that would be what I learned in my season.
Okay.
And I'm gonna ask you just one more question before we get out of here.
Okay.
What can you tell us about, you don't have to share too much because who knows what's going on. But I'm being messy, y'all, but I'll sip my tea in a minute. What can you tell us about where you're heading? What that looks like to you?
Okay.
What that feels like to you?
Ooh.
And what can we expect?
Oh wow.
We don't have to tell too much.
Okay. So let's just
in this new season.
This new season is going to be focused more so on pampering.
Ooh.
Come
on, Jesus.
Because makeup starts with the skin first.
I love that.
So we're gonna be focusing a little bit on skin.
I love that.
And pampering.
Yes.
So that's gonna feel I would say rejuvenating.
Ooh, come on, Keisha, talk about it, girl.
Rejuvenating, for sure. And it's going to be, I'm gonna say relaxing. So relaxing, rejuvenating, skin focused.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that's where we headed, and it feels good.
Yes,
because, and I'm not gonna talk too much, but it's been a goal of mine even before I even started college. Really, that's been a goal. So. Yeah.
I love that. Well, I can't wait to see what you're doing in this season.
Yes.
We got a whole year ahead of us. You know, we're almost out of the first quarter. This happened so fast. The year just kind of like already.
Right.
But one more thing before we go, we always try to leave our listeners with something.
Okay.
So let's switch it up a little bit. What can we do? So if you had a client sitting in your chair right now, and you had to tell them which tool to use first, and we're going to relate the makeup tools to maybe like positive affirmations, and I want you to correlate the affirmation or the positive thing with a makeup product. So like, I can't go without my red lipstick because this keeps me empowered or whatever. So give us a makeup tool for a client sitting in the chair right now, which is our viewers, that they can use in their everyday lives for positivity, and from the beauty expert herself.
That's a good one.
I just on the top, y'all. I'm coming.
Yeah, they make me think.
What's your armor every day?
My armor every day. Well,
you got a few of them.
I love my mascara.
Okay.
That's probably something that I probably won't leave without. And I do put a little concealer on.
Okay.
Because I be covering up my little imperfections. Especially when I'm going to work.
Yeah.
Oh, let me see.
I made that kind of complex.
Yeah, you did make that kind of complex. I'm trying to relate it to an affirmation.
Or something positive.
Positive. I would say probably like concealer because it makes me just feel extra confident.
Yes.
In my beauty.
Yes.
But I do love a good red lip. Now, okay. I really feel like red lips, even though we not wearing a red lip every day. Yeah. Red lips symbolize confidence.
Yes. Keisha, this is a part of our show where we like to empower our guests. Okay. And honor them for who they are. Yes. And we always pick a flower. We want to give you your flowers while you can still smell them. Aww. So today, Keisha, these are for you. So I choose a pink rose for you because number one, I know that's your color. Yes. Number two, being in the beauty industry like yourself, pink roses are so beautiful in themselves, and they have resilience in them as well because they're roses. Oh. And we just want to honor you today with your roses. And we tied it with a little ribbon here, but we love you and we thank you for always bringing the beautiful spirit that you are, the beautiful energy that you're always motivating and inspiring. And this is our gift to you.
Thank you so much. These are beautiful.
Yes, ma'am. For you to smell your flowers today.
Girl, and you know me too well because I love me some roses. And they pink. Yes.
But yes, ma'am. But that is another episode, guys. Thank you for joining us on Sips and Success. Yes, thank you. We're hoping that you guys can pick up some more gems from this episode on your growth of journey for each and every one of you guys. We love you so much. Yes. Bye.
Bye.